Hello, America. I'm Kevin Dennison. Welcome to Most Wanted Topics, broadcasting to you from our studios here at our store, Most Wanted Comics in beautiful Bloomington, Minnesota. Hey, Atomic Tommy, last week you said it was going to be a good week for releases. Let's dive right into the books that came out, and let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I may have overhyped it a little bit. Wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, but jumping into it, Amazing Spider-Man 34. Not as good as 33, but not bad either. There's been worse in this run. I would have liked to see Green Goblin Spider-Man do a little bit more than just beat up Norman Osborn and unplug Tombstone's health monitor equipment in the hospital room. I think they might have underplayed it a little bit. I think this could have been a really cool moment to see him actually beat the crap out of some of his greatest villains. And it just kind of meanders along this issue. And yeah, I was thinking about this while I was reading it, but, you know, Peter Parker's been sad and depressed this whole run. And now he's the Green Goblin and he's doing all this bad, evil stuff.
Why has he been depressed this whole run? Do you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, the whole run started with this big panel that he did something really bad and he did something wrong and he was beating himself up for it for about the first 25 issues. And then the big finale to that arc came up at about issue 25 where it was revealed that he left Mary Jane behind in some alternate dimension and, you know, she met her new wife, Paul, which nobody likes Paul. And that's why he's been so sad, and it's never really gone anywhere other than that. He's been sad the whole run. And now he's the Green Goblin, and he's probably going to continue to be sad after this. And so what are we really accomplishing here?
We just keep going down a dark path again of despair and guilt, and it's just stupid. I wish they'd start the whole thing over and go back to the original Peter Parker, make him witty, and just saving people swinging out the buildings in New York. That's what people want to see Spider-Man do. Swing around, save people, be funny. And be a smart ass. You know, that's his shtick, and that's what we love about Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah, one positive about this issue, though, is everything with Kraven in the casket was really good. The sort of internal monologue he would have with him in his mind was really, really gripping. But other than that, it was all right. Next up, Uncanny Spider-Man #1. The only reason I read this, I didn't mention it last week, but the only reason I read this is because it's written by Cy Spurrier, who is going to be writing The Flash in the new #1 coming out next week. Never written anything by him, so I was a little interested to learn his style before next week's Flash.
I think it comes out this week. It comes out on Wednesday, doesn't it?
That's right. Yeah, that's my bad.
Don't be a week behind now.
Don't be a week behind. Sorry, it all blurs together at some point. So this week, The Flash comes out, and Cy Spurrier's writing it, so I wanted to get a little look at his style. And I really have no outside interest in this book. I'm not an X-Men fan. I'm not really a Nightcrawler fan. So the whole Nightcrawler Spider-Man thing doesn't really do anything for me. But Cy Spurrier, I think, did a pretty good job writing it, and I'm looking forward to see where he goes with The Flash this week. Next up, Green Lantern War Journal #1. Now, this was good. This was a good issue. Further proving why I think John Stewart is the second best Earth-based Green Lantern next to Hal Jordan.
Here we go.
What do you mean? John Stewart is great. He's the guy you want in your corner. If I'm going into battle, I want John Stewart.
Okay.
All right? And in this issue, he is portrayed as incredibly powerful. He doesn't even need a ring anymore, man. He doesn't even need a ring. He is the ring. Think about that.
Mind blown.
He is the ring.
Dropping bombs in comic book knowledge, Atomic Tommy. Love it. All right, so what do we have to look forward to? Is there any other recaps from this past week of comics that came out?
An honorable mention, I think, is Predator versus Wolverine.
Yes, written by a local native.
Benjamin Percy did a great job writing this. The action and the fights between Predator and Wolverine were really cool, and I mean really cool.
Minnesota has excellent talent.
Oh, yeah.
We are very, very spoiled here in Minnesota to have such great creators for comic books. But anyway, let's dive into what comes out on Wednesday. We already got Flash #1 that's coming out on Wednesday.
To be perfectly honest, that's the only thing I'm looking forward to on Wednesday is Flash. It's not gonna be a huge week, I don't think. I'm pretty picky about what I read. I don't read everything. Like, I haven't been keeping up with all the new Avengers stuff.
Well, you did lose all our audience by saying you hate the X-Men. Sorry about that. I don't hate the X-Men, folks. Let's keep the 10 people that we have.
Listen, I don't hate the X-Men, okay? I'm just not a huge X-Men fan. And you know what? I stand by that.
Only have 10. Let's keep it. Let's keep the ones that we have.
You know what? No, I'm not gonna back down.
Sorry.
I'm not that big of an X-Men fan. I don't hate the X-Men. I think the X-Men are plenty cool, but they're really not.
That's because you didn't grow up in the '90s when X-Men was all the hype and Jim Lee was on it and everything was cool with the X-Men, and you're just this younger generation.
I grew up reading DC, New 52. I didn't really grow up reading a lot of Marvel, so I'm not a huge.
Again, when everything came dark with New 52, everything was dark.
That is not true. You don't even know what you're talking about. The New 52 was not all dark, but yeah, The Flash is really the only thing coming out next week that I think is particularly noteworthy. There's definitely probably going to be some.
Can we list another title for the folks that may want to come into the shop and maybe purchase a book or two?
No.
Okay. Flash #1 will be the only thing Most Wanted Comics is carrying on Wednesday, folks.
Yeah.
Just so
I'm sure there will be other gems out there, but the Flash.
Here's the good news. Here's the good news. Most Wanted Comics has thousands of back issues, from Silver Age to Modern Age. Thousands of, and I do not lie. We're gonna show you a commercial about what the store has to offer, and I tell you what. Let's also clean house a minute. Housekeeping item. We can't forget that Kenneth Rockerford, the great Kenneth Rockerford, is coming to this store Saturday, September 30th. That's already, I can't believe we're already here. We're coming up on Saturday. Kenneth Rockerford will be here from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. signing autographs, rocking out quick sketches, and also, I highly recommend his book. This book is Mitographia masterpiece. It is created, written, drawn, colored, lettered, and edited, all by Kenneth Rockerford. I'll crowdfund it at Indiegogo, and this book is amazing. The art is amazing. If you love Kenneth Rockerford art, this is Kenneth Rockerford. I highly recommend you pick up this book. We're going to have limited copies at the store, so you're going to want to get here early to pick these up. We may not have enough for everybody, but while supplies last, the book will be here at Most Wanted Comics for sale. So make sure you pick that up the day of the signing. Also, coming up here, we got we're going to bring in our toy expert, the mighty Mafu. He's going to be talking to you about some toys. So yeah, stick around, and we'll be right back.
All right, switch up. Dad is out. I am in. And Matthew, we're going to be talking toys. Are you ready?
All born ready.
Now, keen-eyed viewers will notice that I had to raise this mic stand. Why? Because my father is short. Leave that up for discussion in the comments. But Matthew, we're going to be talking about the HasLab and about Pulse Con. We're both action figure collectors. We're fanatics. I collect Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series. What do you collect?
I collect a mix of Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Star Wars and Marvel, but I cherry pick on the Marvel. I don't go full in.
Good call. Well, but between the both of us, we cover pretty much all the major Hasbro brands, all the big names that they got: G.I. Joe, Transformers, Marvel, and Star Wars. We do it all in our house.
The Big Four.
The Big Four, that's right. And let's jump right in. Matthew, the Giant-Man HasLab, what are your thoughts?
I think it looks cool. I really like the finger articulation. I think that's really cool. We haven't seen anything like that since the Toy Biz era.
I don't know. We'd have to fact check that, but I do know if it wasn't the Toy Biz era, it probably wasn't as good as it is today.
Right.
I wish more Marvel Legends had finger articulation. I think the finger articulation in the Giant-Man's a selling point because it's cool. Especially that shot, the picture that they showed with the zombie diorama with his fingers all messed up. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the unlockable tiers, Matthew?
I don't really like them. I do like the squirrel head, don't get me wrong, but I do not like the zombie faceplate. I think the zombie faceplate should have been an alternate head.
Yeah, I think not having figures, personally, I think that was a blunder.
Yeah.
I think it sort of removes the tiers do for a HasLab is it incentivizes people to back it. It gives them that extra push to spend the money on this big ticket item, and the Giant-Man just doesn't have that.
Yeah, if I were to take out both of those tiers and replace them with something else, I would do a Wasp that's comic accurate, kind of like the Giant-Man, and a 6-inch scale, just scaled down Giant-Man, except Ant-Man, in his non-Giant-Man form, but of
So
normal size.
you'd want the Giant-Man as it stands, the big 24-inch, just scaled down to the
Yeah.
6-inch figure. I think that would be pretty cool too.
Yeah, so I mean, just throw in a Wasp to go with the 24-inch one, and then add in 6-inch Hank Pym.
Yeah, I think the reason they gave, I think, for not including figures in the tiers was to sort of keep the price down a little bit. The 200 price point, I will say, is probably the most fairly priced HasLab they've ever given us. And I think, but the problem with that is that it's coming off the Ghost. The Ghost was $500. That's a pretty pricey point, and now you're asking people to spend another $200 on a Marvel one. I think it could hurt them a little bit in the long run, given that it's, we're a few weeks into the campaign now, or maybe 1 or 2 weeks. I don't know. Time loses track here.
Yeah.
And it's only about halfway there, so
Yeah.
you'll have to definitely pick up steam if it wants to back.
Yeah, I think people are going to back it at the last couple of weeks, to kind of give it that extra push to go, back it, make it, please. I do not like the Toy Biz one. I want this new one.
Yeah, though that's definitely what happened with the Ghost. The Ghost was deadlocked at 13,000 backers for the majority of its runtime, and the last 2 days just raised the bar. It reached, I think, 20,000 by the end of it, and that was pretty much all in the last few days of the campaign. So
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
All one can hope is that is what happens with Giant-Man. So
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just dead right now. I mean, it's really slow for these past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's just going kind of really slow. Boop, boop. Kind of
Yep.
not adding in that much figures.
Anyway, yeah, we'll see where it goes. Who knows? It might blow everybody away in a couple weeks here.
Right.
So we'll see. Let's talk about Hasbro Pulse Con.
Yes, I agree.
What was your favorite reveal out of Hasbro Pulse Con?
G.I. Joe. I mean, come on. Good reveals. There were 3 in particular that I liked. And one of them was the 3-pack. And that 3-pack is the Crimson Strike Team. And that came with Crimson Baroness and the Crimson Twins. And all 3 of them are in Crimson Red. And I like this set because it gives collectors who have all the Crimson Guards and Crimson Vipers, Alley Vipers, and Bats, something to build out a really cool kind of display with all their Crimson. So, Special Elite Strike Team and Cobra is the Crimson Strike Team. They got Crimson Bats and the Guards, and I just think this set kind of tops it. That's the icing on the cake.
Yeah, the G.I. Joe team brought it strong. Commander Hawk, that's a pretty sweet looking figure.
I know. General Hawk, 2 pistols, a shotgun, and a grenade launcher, a helmet, and 2 pairs of goggles. He is ready for combat.
Yeah, as you can see, I'm not the most knowledgeable G.I. Joe guy. I said Commander instead of General. That's my bad.
And then the other figure, the third one, who's also ready for battle, is Shockwave. Not the Transformer Shockwave, but the G.I. Joe Shockwave. This figure comes with a riot shield, a riot baton, 2 Uzis, and 2 knives. And yes, there are even holsters for his Uzis. And he's just ready for battle with his riot shield to protect him from guns. And I just think, really cool figure. Really cool looking figure.
And if only the Star Wars team put that kind of effort into their
I know.
toys, it'd be a whole different story around here, wouldn't it?
Yeah. The only 2 saving graces were the Captain Rex helmet. I mean, if you can cosplay as Captain Rex, buy it. And then the other one was the Force Unleashed 2 3-pack of Starkiller and 2 Stormtroopers.
That was pretty sweet. It only took them, about a decade, but man, we got it.
Yeah.
We got it. We're here. Anyway, my favorite reveals coming out of PulseCon comes from the Marvel side of the stream. Man, that No Way Home Wave 2, that was pretty sweet. I really liked the Tom Holland suit that they put in there, the suit that he was wearing in the final shot of the movie. the final swing suit, I think it's called on the internet, and it looks really good. I'm definitely gonna have to pick one of those up.
Yeah, it looks like the original comics. You know, he's got the light red and the light blue. It kind of looks like he came straight out of the comics.
I'm really excited to see that suit more in the future Spider-Man movies when those come out. But I will say I'm a little angry. I bought that 3-pack that came out over the summer with Tom, Toby, and Andrew all in their suits. No face sculpts, but I bought it. And here we go, a new wave, and they're just completely repacked with the face sculpts. I'll probably pick up the Tom. I probably won't pick up Toby or Andrew because I already have them. But I feel like I wasted my money a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they could have added in those extra heads and some webs accessories.
I think I saw this rumor online. A lot of people were talking about it, but a lot of people thought that the versions of those characters that they were going to include in the wave, because everybody kind of knew that there was going to be a second No Way Home wave eventually. The people on the team never talked about it, but we all kind of collectively knew what was going to happen. So a lot of people thought was that, man, it's going to be Toby, Tom, and Andrew all in their little lab coats from the movie as a way just to get the face sculpts there, but it wouldn't be a complete repack because they sold the 3-pack with all of them in there for $90, and now that 3-pack is useless. So,
yep.
Well, one other thing I'd like to point out about this stream before we wrap it up is the Transformers. I grew up with the animated series, and to see the Bumblebee and to see the excuse you.
Yes, thank you. A little dry in here.
Yep, to see the Bumblebee and to see the Optimus from that animated show was really special to me as somebody who grew up with that. And what do you think, Matthew?
Yeah.
Another cool figure for sure is Chase from Rescue Bots. Matthew and I, a lot of history with Rescue Bots. We watched it all the time together, Saturday mornings, and to see that figure in a mainline release is, I think, really cool to all of us.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that they would do the rest of the team.
Me too.
Boulder, Blades, and Heatwave.
You know, I'm not the biggest Transformers collector, but Chase is going to have to go up on the shelf.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for talking. It's been great. We'll have to do this more often. We'll have to bring in some of our own stuff to talk about, bring in some stuff from the shop, and the Mighty Mafu, I think is what we're going to call you.
I'm cool with that name.
Atomic Tommy and the Mighty Mafu, man, we're gonna be talking toys in the future. So
it's our toy segment.
Our toy segments. All right. Well, you have a good one.
Yeah,
have
you
a good
do.
school week. I don't have to do that anymore. You do, but I don't.
Thanks for rubbing it in.
Yep. No problem. That's what I'm here for. All right. See you next time.